Parcell tweets, has there been any news about Incredibles 2?
I haven't heard anything for a while, and I did originally, I remember when it was, it's gonna finally come, and we were all really thrilled about it, but now I've seen a lot of other news for different animated films from there, and not Incredibles 2. Do you guys have anything?
No, I'm sure it's still in the development cycle, but the thing with Pixar is they have such long cycles in terms of, we're not gonna hear about this at least until Inside Out of The Good Dinosaur hits theaters, and honestly, I love The Incredibles, but I like Pixar better when they don't sequelize their works. I think they work better when they just create wholly original pieces of content.
I'm still excited for Finding Dory, though. I don't care. I like Dory.
Me too.
Sorry.
Just keep swimming.
Yeah.
That's a good one, too.
Yeah, but I'm with you. I feel like I would love to see more Incredibles, but at the same time, they're so wonderful with original IP that I would like to see them do a new property and create more new stories. So.
Yeah, it was a great standalone film within itself, and also does lend itself to future. But I haven't heard anything for a while, so I'm not sure.
I do agree that most of the time, their sequels can still be cute and charming, but not as good. But I do really want Incredibles too. Okay, what's next?
Alexander tweets, "Hi AMC, love the show. What do you think will win the box office this weekend?"
I think
50 Shades.
Yeah, 50 Shades
Unfortunately,
again.
I wish it was Kingsman.
I'm going to spend $200 million seeing Kingsman this week.
Yes.
You're a true patriot.
Think it'll drop off a little bit because everyone rushed out who wanted to see 50 Shades last week, and now word of mouth has gotten around about the quality of the film. But I think people will still go and see it.
Hey,
and
watching,
it'll make a lot of money.
Curiosity, there's a lot of reasons that people will see it.
I agree.
Rashad tweets, "How do you feel about the term chick flick? Do you see it as a negative?"
I'm not sensitive like that, ladies.
I don't mind it. I mean, I think it's just like a nickname. I don't.
Cute.
Yeah, I don't.
Rhymes.
Yeah, chick flick. I don't. I don't have any like negative feeling towards it.
No, and there can be terrible chick flicks, but there can be great chick flicks as well.
Are you offended?
I'm only cool with it if we're talking about the movie Chicken Run.
This guy.
I know you just
this guy.
Mine like a steel trap. You just can't. Just don't mess with Casey.
What's next?
Scott tweets, "Will WB really give us a villain story for Suicide Squad, or will they just make them heroes? I really hope not. Thanks."
I really hope not as well.
Yeah, I think they're too complex, right?
I think they're not going to in this film. They just can't. They're not like Guardians where they're outlaws but still kind of charming in their own right. Like, these are villains. So if they lost that, it would piss off a lot of fans. And I think we're ready for it. I mean, the villain has been elevated to a different level lately. I mean, look what Loki has done. Look what Joker has done in that universe. I mean, they're more loved than sometimes the protagonist. So I think that we're ready for a very villainous, bad guy film, and give it to us, David Ayer.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. I feel like you can't just go the Guardians route and make them too likable. Obviously, there's going to be moments where they're charismatic, where you do feel for them, you empathize with them, because they're people, they have their own motivations. But I do think it's going to be more of a case where, like Breaking Bad, that was a guy who was making consistently horrible decisions for possibly a good cause, but ultimately it was serving his own purposes. And I feel like they're going to go that route where you just see these people who are trying to seek some sort of redemption, but ultimately it's for a self-interested reason, their own freedom, and so their heads don't explode.
Villains are so interesting, so I can't wait to see a movie full of villains, especially these villains. They seem so intriguing. I don't know too much about Harley Quinn, but the stuff I've read about her, I can't wait to see her on the screen.
Yeah, and I think to your point about villains, it's sort of, characters don't have to be likable for audiences to connect to them. Like, a person can be absolutely horrible and you can still almost root for them, not necessarily think they're wonderful, but be on their side, and that's a really wonderful place to get an audience, because there's so much tension there when you really are rooting for someone you know is bad. And I think, Heath Ledger's Joker is a good example of a complete and utter sociopathic villain that everyone didn't necessarily root for, but connected to and was compelled to watch and wanted to see what he would do next. So keep them villainous.
Even Jake Gyllenhaal in Nightcrawler.
Yes.
That guy's a scumbag.
Great
Wait,
example.
whoa. Come on.
He's a sociopath.
yeah.
Complete
A brilliant
sociopath.
Oh, I still loved him.
Great
I was so
work
happy.
ethic.
Yeah.
Solid work ethic. You really got to
Like
go
a
through with it all.
self-help book.
Yeah.
Questionable
Great quotes.
OSHA standards.
Questionable, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's
Pretty
take
questionable.
one more.
All right, Jameson tweets, "With the Duff out today, what is your favorite teen high school movie? And are teen movies today as good as they used to be in the 80s and 90s?
Oh.
Teen movies.
That's a
Gotta
tough
go
one.
Breakfast Club.
Yeah, I mean,
I
John
gotta go
Hughes.
Breakfast Club. Empire Records is a classic. Mallrats is a classic.
Clueless,
Bueller's
I
Day
loved when that
Off.
came out.
Ferris
I mean, any John
Bueller's.
Hughes movie, really.
Day off.
Yeah. That was another one to add, Mr. Casey?
Let's see, Weird Science. Any John Hughes movie is like, just go back. That's like a textbook in what you should expect for teen movies. I don't feel like you find that as much nowadays. One that I really liked was The Spectacular Now. I thought that felt like a real throwback to that era of John Hughes filmmaking, and it had, you know, it was very, very well done. I haven't seen The Duff yet, but
I'm not going to.
Seems to be rare these days to get that kind of teen movie like we grew up with.
Yeah, and I think, you know, it's interesting because I grew up on John Hughes movies way before I was a teenager, so they sort of shaped the way I saw adolescence, at least in a cinematic way. But, you know, then in the 90s there was the American Pie franchise, which I know a whole other generation of people felt were their kind of teen movies, and it served its purpose also. So I think there are a lot of people out there that would say American Pie. It didn't necessarily resonate for me as like the quintessential teen movie, but I think it does for a lot of people, so it bears mention.
Isn't it funny to rewatch these films and see how old these high school students are?
James Spader. My favorite is James Spader in Pretty in Pink. In like smoking a cigarette in the hallway in like sockless loafers and a white suit with like stubble. And we're supposed to believe he's 17 years old. I'm like, you are 35. There is no way you're like 17 years old.
You can't be in here.
Yes, exactly.
But there are no strings on you, mister.
Hey everyone, if you like this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC movie talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.